In spirituality, non-dualism, also called non-duality, means not two or one, undivided without a second. Non-dualism primarily refers to a mature state of consciousness, or I would even say superconsciousness, in which the dichotomy of I, other, is transcended and awareness is described as centerless and without dichotomies. And then we move to this, which is what is aware of this experience? What is aware of this experience? Coming back to what is aware of this experience, it should be something that you come back to often. Short moments of awareness, short moments of pausing and being aware of your experience is an exercise in establishing a new neural pathway where the brain actually starts to create new neural pathways based on the mind that has this interest, the mind that is focusing its attention on awareness as awareness. The mind will build new neural pathways for the personal self egoic identity to dissolve or step back, and the true nature, the I am presence, to step forward, so that you don't have to wait for heaven, so that you have the experience of heaven right now, here on earth. It's where heaven, or the idea of I am presence, it unites with earth. Heaven and earth unite, and the two become one, where they never left, where they were always one. And the way this, what this is pointing to here is that awareness, true perception, is the observer observing this, the object of experience. That's step one. Step two is residing and abiding as awareness. That's your natural state. That's what we're moving to as we move up the ladder of awakening. We're gradually removing the obstacles to the awareness of love's presence. And once the obstacles are removed, only love's presence, your natural self, remain. 7 days to awakening, and we made a practice. I am aware of practice. I am aware that sadness is happening. I am aware of the feeling of anger. I am aware of sensations that feel heavy. I am aware of thoughts of wanting things to be different. So that's where awareness is becoming alert, is becoming a function of access. It's where the observer as a temporary step is being used. And also awareness is coming in as another primary, and it's a fundamental aspect of seeing. And then we move to, I am not sadness. I am not the feeling of anger. I am not the sensations that feel heavy. I am not the thoughts of wanting things to be different. So you're realizing that you're locating your primary position of presence, of awareness. You're aware of the observer, and yet you're not the observer. You're just awareness, which is the pristine presence of God, of I am. And this is where the inward facing path, awareness and oneness, are all the same. There's an awareness of the body. There's awareness of objects of experience, time and space, past, present, and future. There's an awareness of thoughts, feelings, emotions, all sensations. Mind is awareness in action. And we're actually having an experience of being awake in the dream. And then we have, this is the ladder of awakening that I mentioned a few minutes ago. But then we have the outward facing path, which once we are established as awareness, we realize that we are all of this. We are awareness, And all of this arises, the trees, the houses, the mountains, money, the ocean, the solar systems, the galaxies, time and space, all arises out of this experience of awareness of God is, which is pure presence. And we have access to this even in a body mind as resting and relaxing as awareness. This is what we have available. We learn to live in the experience of abiding as awareness. And that's what all of these workbook lessons, that's the you're going to find the language of these workbook lessons it just nourishes your soul, your mind, your body mind, your personal self, all of your experience. It just envelops you, and it becomes you're wearing your holiness blanket as a direct experience. It's just it's really beautiful. And then what do I have here? How to use these tools in a day-to-day life. Frequent short moments of awareness many times through the day. Prioritize your quiet time to reflect. And this is what you can do for the morning time and in the evening before you go to bed at night. Now, this is something that I recently learned from or heard from Krishnamurti also, that a mind that dreams a lot, we think that there's something significant about our dreaming experience. In night, we will have this, like, can be a crazy dream, can be a beautiful dream, can be a dream of scary dream. Krishnamurti says that a dream is unfinished business with the mind, that it had an incomplete experience with a situation in the day. And the way you complete your the situation in the day is you when you have something that disturbs your peace, when you have unfinished business with the mind that's always going chitty chatter, chitty chatter, chitty chatter, it's got this idea, that idea, this idea, whenever it has a charge on it, whenever it has something that's causing you discomfort or has disturbed your peace or is causing you pain, worry, or fear, that's considered unfinished business. And it's when it's that unfinished business that actually turns into, according to Krishnamurti, it's that unfinished business that turns into your dreams, your dream time. And the way to bring closure to that unfinished business is to take stock in your day before you go to bed at night. Just give a reflection on your day. If you haven't already done it, resting as awareness and looking at the observer and the observed and allowing them to be one, brought into the awareness of your experience. Bring it in and welcome it into awareness. And in so doing, you are dissolving the conflict back into the nothingness that it arose. And what Krishnamurti says, and you can actually do this during the day. You can do this if you have the moment to take the time to rest as awareness and just allow awareness to receive and feel the experience that's being experienced, then it's not likely that it will come up again at the end of the day. But if something before you go to bed at night, if you have something that's not resolved, that you didn't take the time to just bring it into this abiding place of presence and allow it to just be loved, then do it before you go to bed at night, and it will resolve it, and you won't have nightmares about it, or it'll end your dreams about it. And now maybe you carry into your dreams these experiences that you love to have and you want to keep having them. If that's the case, just keep doing that. But if there are things that disturb your peace and you want to bring it to a closure, this is what Krishnamurti recommends. And I thought that was a cool idea. There's only one self. There's only awareness is true. And when you're touching the agreement of that truth and it resonates with you, it becomes a felt experience. When we hear something when we hear something, when we read it, the beautiful passages that we read, that in quiet I received God's word today, that brings you to the experience because it resonates with your I am presence. And when someone says something that resonates with your I am presence, you've just you went ping. And yeah, you can you get a chills, people get chills, or that definitely is it's our oneness speaking through. This is where I was using the last 5 lessons of the workbook. This holy instant would I give to you. I think this is if you ever get lost or you get off and you want to have a go-to, this is a good one, because if you just put this holy instant would I give to you. Now, this is pausing. This is pausing as presence. Be you in charge, for I would follow you. You don't have to use the words. All you have to do is acknowledge that I'm pausing as presence. This holy instant would I give to you. And all of those other things that are listed come with that. You don't have to read it. You don't have to memorize it. All of these things are byproducts where you are now supported, where he is in charge. Aware presence is in charge. This is your request. And it will hear and answer you because it speaks for God, our Father, and its Holy Son, which is what I am. This is our connection. This is the absolute. This is our starting point. This is not. You don't have to wait till you finish the workbook lessons to have this direct experience. It can happen right now, and in fact, for some of you, has already happened just since we've been together. Because there's a yes that's ringing true for you, that's saying, yes, this is true, and I know it. And if you're hearing that and that yes is, then that yes is affirming this in your own mind and in your own heart. Now, let's move on. This is another great workbook lesson, 188. The peace of God is shining in me now. And this is where I was saying, why wait for heaven? Enlightenment is but a recognition, not a change at all. Light is not of the world. So this light is not really a lit light. This light is your identity. It's what you are. It is the only thing you bring with you from God, from presence. And it's not a who, and this is where we take the pronouns and the maleisms out. It just is. It shines in you as you because it lights your home, which is also you. And it leads you back to where it came from and you are at home. So it leads you back to the direct experience of your own being. And this is why this is another statement of verifying that as you see from this place of shining, of awareness. It shines on all experience, and you are at home. You are where you never left. And then here's another workbook lesson, 106. Let me be still and listen to the truth. When you are still and you listen to the truth, you lay aside the ego's voice and you listen and you hear the vibrational frequency of your Father speak to you through his appointed voice, which is your I am, which is it's you experiencing you. And Regina Dawn Akers has a great saying that she's been saying for 15 years. It's spirit giving to spirit what spirit has requested. And so you're always getting the experience that you're asking for. Even if you get the things that are painful, you're getting what you have asked for. Be not deceived by voices of the dead. So don't be deceived by the image that you have made, which tell you they have found the source of life and offer it to you for your belief. Attend them not, but listen to the truth. So attend not the chitty chatter thoughts of the image that you made, this body mind, that makes all of its decisions and all of its experiences are based on something that happened in the past, that it's bringing to the present. And then there's another one, the truth will correct all errors in my mind, 107. What can correct illusions but the truth? And what are errors but illusions that remain, unrecognized for what they are? Where truth has entered, errors disappear. So as you rest as awareness and these errors come in, these illusions come into your experience, they disappear in the presence of what you are. They merely vanish, leaving not a trace by which to be remembered. They are gone because without belief, they have no life. And so they disappear to nothingness, returning whence they came. From dust to dust they come and go, for only truth remains. So this is just another reiteration of the borderland experience. And then lesson 125, of course, in quiet, I received God's word today. This is a beautiful reading. I recommend you coming back to this one. And then, can God be reached directly? This is one I recommended that you watch that video. It's in the manual for teachers. It's a great one to just follow the non-dual interpretation of the words as they're written. God indeed can be reached directly, for there is no distance between him and his son. And so there is no distance between you and you. There's no distance between I am, awareness, and your experience that's actually in this class right now. There's no distance between you and you. You are the embodiment and incarnate experience of what God is. And then it says, yet this awareness and this memory can arise across the threshold of recognition only where all barriers to truth have been removed. So if there's a barrier, if there's a grievance, if you're living in the grievance, if you're having an experience of fear, you have to move your attention off of the fear and put it on I am presence. You have to pause and be aware of your experience. And just by doing that, just by shifting your attention from the experience, you're no longer holding a belief in the experience, but you're shifting it. This is what the Course would call a miracle where your perception, you're no longer living in the perception of the body mind, but you're moving your attention to the experience of forgiveness. The Course uses forgiveness, but I'll just say you're moving your attention to your I am presence, which is beyond forgiveness. Forgiveness is a uh, is a uh, is um, a ladder. It's like a rung on the ladder. Forgiveness. It says the Course says that forgiveness does make lovely, but it does not create. So it's a little shy. Forgiveness is awesome because initially I needed that. Because it was the language of Christianity, and I needed to forgive, and I used that language until I realized I didn't need it any longer. But forgiveness is a rung on the ladder that we actually move beyond once we self-realize. Once you realize that you are the light that shines in eternity, then the Holy Spirit is a temporary bridge that brought you to that. And then we move on, and there's this is a great line in the development of trust. Now, the development of trust in the manual for teachers, it has 6 stages in the development of trust, and you can count them if you want to spend some time doing that. It tells you first one, second one, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and this one here is where a teacher of God, which is awakening awareness in my language. A teacher of God comes to a point in his understanding. Now comes a period of settling down. This is a quiet time in which the teacher of God, or awakening awareness, rests a while in reasonable peace. Now he or she consolidates his or her learning. Now he or she begins to see the transfer value, what you have learned. Its potential is literally staggering. And the teacher of God, you, awakening awareness, is now at the point in your progress, his or her progress, at which he or she sees its whole way out. So I'm saying that if you're here having this experience and you're seeing with the eyes of awareness and Christ vision, and you're seeing some of these ideas fulfilled in your own experience, you're at a point where you actually see the beginning of your awakening. That's what it means when it says you see your whole way out. You're seeing the beginning and the fruition of your awakening experience happening. And then it says the teacher of God needs this period of respite. He or she has not yet come as far as he or she thinks. Yet when he or she is ready to go on, he or she goes with mighty companions beside her or him. And these mighty companions are not people. These are agents of awakening. These are they could be people, but they're mostly not. This is the agency of divinity that moves in and supports you on your journey of awakening, which has no end. It doesn't have an end experience. It expands and it goes deeper and it grows more lovely, and there's no end in sight. But it becomes a place. This is the place where the awakening awareness, you realize you're home, or you realize, oh my God, I'm reaching an awakening experience, and you might want to pinch yourself with that one. And then the development of trust is another one that I wanted to highlight, because here it talks about the advanced teachers of God, I think. And in my mind, not once do the advanced teachers of God consider the forms of sickness in which their brother believes. So you come to a point in your awakening where you're not disturbed by people that are off. You're not disturbed by, I still get disturbed by politics, but I don't get stuck there. But you come to a point where you no longer believe in the sickness. You know it's a temporary, relevant experience in the time and space continuum. To do this is to forget that all of them have the same purpose. And so let me start over here. Not once do the advanced teachers of God consider the forms of sickness in which their brother believes. To do this is to forget that all of them have the same purpose and therefore are not really different. They seek for God's voice in this brother who would so deceive himself as to believe God's son can suffer. So this is someone that's giving, that's really sympathizing with someone that's suffering, instead of stepping back as awareness, as presence, and bringing that brother or that sister or that situation or that politician or that grievance that you have against that politician, bringing it in as awareness, as aware presence, and loving it and including it and allowing it to come back into that from whence it comes. And they remind him, this advanced teacher of God, this is awakened awareness. They remind him that he did not make himself and must remain as God created him. You must remain as I am presence. They recognize illusions can have no effect. And this is an awakening experience, an awakened experience that is not beyond anyone here. You don't have to be a astral body to have an advanced teacher of God. Is just now there are other terms that are used here for an advanced teacher of God. Awakened awareness could be Jesus, could be Buddha, could be Ramana, could be Nisargadatta, Yogananda, could be someone who's left their body mind and they're still in service to the truth. And we know that's true, that we've had so many witnesses of people that channel these different beings from around the world. And I think that's it for the manual for teachers. Once you send that telegram off to pure presence and say, I want to wake up, you don't realize, oh, there's some suffering that has to happen. You don't realize that I have to let go of some of these grievances and some of these judgments. I have to let go of this. I have to be dismantled. And this is the whole process of the development of trust. And if you look at those 6 stages, some of them don't look very pretty, and they're not. You have to go through the things that you fear the most. You have to look at them and you have to own them. And then if you're not familiar with this teaching, it's harder, because you are confused. You think that, oh, if I wake up, everything's going to be beautiful. Well, eventually, yes, but in that period of letting go, of releasing yourself from the identity of the image that you have made, you have to let go of those things that cause you pain. You have to let go of those things that make you suffer, that you're actually asking for. A lot of times we ask for things that they turn out terrible. A lot of times we'll have conflicting goals where we want to wake up, but then we make decisions without discerning them. Discerning your decisions is an important idea also. You think, well, I think I want to be I think I want to own my own business. I want to go into business for myself and be a um, I want to have a beauty salon, or I want to be a builder, or I want to be this, or I want be that. And if you don't give it any uh, resting time, giving it to spirit, giving it to I am awareness, and letting it marinate. Do I really want to do that? You'll make decisions that will be the opposite of having an awakening experience, because you'll find that, oh my God, that's bringing up all kinds of stuff that I don't really like. I don't like running a business. I don't like keeping books. I don't like having to manage people, or any other kind of situations that people make decisions all the time, and they wish they hadn't made them because they didn't really take the time to bring it into this place of divine intelligence that knows every decision that will bring us further along in our awakening experience. It's not a guarantee that things fall apart, but the question for, I said that we ask for these things. We inadvertently, we may not come right out and say, I want this, I want this divorce, or I want to lose my job, or I want to be sick. We don't come right out and ask for any of those. We don't need to. Those are going to happen. And what we do when those happen, even though we are the one asking for it, what we do when the disturbance happens is we just we rest as awareness. We just welcome the experience. And sometimes, in our mind, we might say, I don't know what this is for, but I'm trusting to welcome it, and allowing it to be exactly as it is, knowing this too shall pass, because the disturbance and the suffering and the pain, it will pass. That's a temporary passing cloud. And the deeper that you have established yourself as the sky, as this presence of awareness, the deeper you have established yourself, the faster that cloud will pass, and the easier the experience of that passing by, or that temporary pain, the easier that will be for you. It just, in fact, it just comes and it goes so fast that you go, oh, and it just verifies that this stuff works, that it's true. The way I recommend for everyone to get the most out of the course is to listen to or watch the lessons, have your 15-minute meditation time, practice pausing, practice short moments of awareness, make this your dedication. Keeping your journal, write down workbook lessons that really have a special interest to you, that really help you when you're as a go-to lesson, or when something disturbs your peace, you don't want to forget it, and you just write it down, and be aware of that thought, be aware of that experience, write it down until it's been resolved, and then cross a line through it. If you're going to give yourself this year to wake up, then give yourself the year. Don't put it off. for the next 5 years. Make it happen in this year. Start with the lesson of the day if you have extra time. Oh, so what I did when I started the course, I started with the manual for teachers. And if you're doing the workbook lessons, now I just started with the manual for teachers because that's where I wanted to start. And then I went to the workbook lessons, and I did them about 8 times. But the manual for teachers has a lot of really good information in it, and so does the clarification of terms. It's not necessary that you read the psychotherapy pamphlet. It's just more information. The Song of Prayer is good. If you're a prayer person that you want to know what does the Course in Miracles say about prayer, I didn't do a non-dual translation of the Song of Prayer, but I definitely have some thoughts about prayer based on the Song of Prayer and based on my own understanding in a non-dual way. I'm recommending that you don't try to read the whole course in 1 year. Let the workbook lessons do their work. They will have a big impact in your life if you approach them in the way that I've suggested. You'll get the best out of these workbook lessons, and you'll get benefit from the workbook lessons even if you have a different way of doing it. But this is the strongest. I think this is the most powerful way to approach this masterclass and these workbook lessons. But except for the following text, I would hold off on the text for this year. Miracle 28 talks about the subconscious, superconscious, and the conscious, the conscious levels of awareness. So there seems to be 3 levels of awareness, but there's really only one awareness. The conscious level is the body, mind, the time and space, personal self level of awareness that is transient. It comes and goes. It's an image that we have made. The subconscious is our memory. It's the conscious mind that's the memories that are stored up in the subconscious, or the subconscious mind is the memories that are stored that are conditioning that got layered on top of awareness. And then the superconscious is awareness. It's the awareness experience that is prior to thought. There's no there's no labels. There's no good or bad or right or wrong. It just is. And then reading the Beyond Perception on page 129 in the text is awesome. The direct communication device. There's a page in the purple book. I'm going to read this one paragraph because I love it so much. It's on page 181, and this is what I feel happened when I first started transmitting these workbook lessons in the non-dual way, because I was just not involved. I stepped back and I just let this happen, and it happened. It had such a benefit that and here's this one paragraph 8 in the purple book says, when I told you, now this is Jesus, this is consciousness speaking to Helen. When I told you, concentrate on the phrase, here I am, Lord, I did not mean in this world by here. So just ponder that for a minute. I did not mean by in this world by here. I wanted you to think of yourself as a distinct consciousness. Now he's moved to super consciousness. He's moved to awakening awareness, actually a little bit short of super consciousness. He's moved to awakening awareness. I wanted you to think of yourself as a distinct consciousness, capable of direct communication with the creator of that consciousness. Now, this is where we intuit, we feel, and we know a direct communication with God. We feel and we know a direct communication with our source. You must begin to think of yourself as a very powerful receiving and sending channel. Now, when it says you, this you is not the person. This you is awakening awareness. And this is just a hint of many hints, many statements that are telling us that we are what God is, that we have a direct communication with our creator. Can God be reached directly? Yes. Right there, it just said that. And we have access to it as a direct communication device. And so that's page 181. And I think that's a significant statement. And then the attainment of the real world is on page 439. If you want to read something that's beautiful, it talks about the experience of awareness when it opens up with the statement that says, sit quietly and look upon the world you see and tell yourself, the real world is not like this. It has no buildings and there are no streets where people walk alone and separately. So this real world experience is the world of awareness. This real world experience, what it's talking about here is not a world that happens when you become an astral body and you leave the bodysuit and it's later on. This is right now. The real world is available right now. There are no stores where people buy an endless list of things they do not need. So it's just giving a description to this formless presence of awareness that you have access to right now. It is not lit with artificial light, and night comes not upon it. There is no day that brightens and grows dim. There is no loss. Nothing is there but shines and shines forever. And then it says, this world you see must be denied. This is duality. That's what it means when it says, this world you see, the dualistic world must be denied, for sight of it is costing you a different kind of vision. And this is where I hang my hat for the importance of non-duality. If you don't reach an understanding of non-duality, you can't see with Christ's vision, you can't see what it's talking about. You cannot see both worlds, for each of them involves a different kind of seeing and depends on what you cherish. The sight of one is possible because you have denied the other. And what it really is giving you is that you're overlooking the image that you have made by resting as awareness with no judgment. You're not using memory or the past or the object of experience to see beyond appearances. You're just allowing awareness to be as it is, and you're bringing those other world or those images that you have made, those illusions that you have built, you're bringing them into this space and allowing them to be exactly as they are, so that the image can dissolve into the nothingness that they arose from, which is consciousness. And so that's 439. Knowing God on page 469 is great. The gift of awareness, it's not titled that on 638, but that's what it's talking about. And then I need do nothing. This is a game changer. I need do nothing doesn't mean that you sit on your hands or you sit on a pillow and ohm. It means that you live your life in this bodysuit, this body-mind experience. And it says, like, it uses these words, in all your busy doing, you need do nothing, because you will be resting as awareness. You'll be in the center of the storm, in perfect stillness, as a new default, as a practice. In all your busy doing, you'll be sitting in the center of the storm, and the storm is raging outside, doing what it's doing. Can't pay your bills, you're sick, somebody wants to leave you, your pet died, your things are happening, oh my God. You're able to rest in the center of your storm, in the center of the storm. And it uses a hurricane as a metaphor. In all your busy doing, you need do nothing, because you can comfortably and quietly rest as awareness. And in that place, your body mind, in all your busy doing, you will be informed from this place of stillness. You'll be informed what to do, and you won't be disturbed. Your peace won't be disturbed, even though there's a hurricane seeming to that's in your life experience. And the hurricane won't last long, because you're resting as awareness, and it'll come and go. Let's look at the borderland is on page 780. We don't need to look at that again. The borderland is a beautiful description of the power that I am presence, the true you, has. The borderland is that quiet presence that it is the light that shines in and as eternity. And then this is really great. The quiet answer. There's one sentence here in the quiet answer that I want to look at on page 814. Let's see. The quiet answer says, in quietness. It's just so simple. In quietness are all things answered, and every problem quietly resolved. One sentence says it all. And that quiet presence is you. It's your I am awareness. And this is the thing that gets me really excited about people that are learning to pause. And this is just the holy instant. If you're familiar with some of these terms in the course, the pause is just the holy instant. It's moving you from having your attention on the personal self, objects of experience, and it moves you to the direct experience of your being, of your I am presence. But in quietness are all things answered, and is every problem quietly resolved. That's available. Okay, well, let's just come to a place of a meditation experience where we move our attention to being aware of this experience in quiet. In quiet, we receive. In quiet, I receive. God's word today. In quiet presence, I receive the vibrational frequency of love, of presence. This quiet awareness is right here. This quiet awareness is my resting place of love. It's my resting place. It's I am resting in itself as love. When I say I am, when you say I am, you are remembering and stating what you are. I am presence. I am God's Son, complete and healed and whole, means I am aware presence, complete and knowing itself in all dimensions of time and beyond time as eternal presence. This is your birthright. This is your inheritance as the memory of God has remembered itself as you. The memory of God is awakening itself as you. In the calendar of time, you have waited a long time for this to occur. And here you are. You are awakening to the experience in form, in the body-mind experience. You're awakening to the experience that you've always been. And you're bringing this light of pure presence into a world that knew it not. You are doing this. You, I am, have made yourself available to receive the light of pure knowing. The light of understanding. The light of remembering. The experience of being. You are this. You are awakening consciousness. You are a direct communication channel to this consciousness. This is your time. And you have called this to yourself, for yourself, as yourself. This awakening consciousness is able to include all experience within itself simply by bringing attention to an experience, a person, a situation, someone else. You are able to bring that experience into awareness of the experience, into the presence of love, and allowing it to be nurtured by love, as love. And it is not separate from what you are. If you have a family member or a situation or a matter of your life or someone else's that you would like to bring into this circle of light, this circle of knowing, of being, this borderland of experience, bring this person by their name, or this situation by its name, or this matter of concern, bring it into this space, this altar of truth, and make it welcome. It is also the truth. It is also love. It is also what you are. And we leave this at the place where it's healed. We leave it at the place where it's resolved perfectly in God's truth and love. And we share this truth and love, the holiness of God's presence, with all the inhabitants of the earth. We share this holiness and this love with all beings, animate and inanimate objects, all manner of what God is, in form and the formless. And we bless it. In gratitude, we say Amen, and so it is.